Hello, everybody. Good morning, and this is Bad Weather Freak here, giving you another quick video, another 2021 hurricane season update. What you're seeing right now, it is the 5-day chart for a area that the National Hurricane Center is currently watching. As you guys know, or if you didn't know, well, in the past couple of days or the past few days, we had Tropical Storm Bill. It did form around this area. As of this morning, the National Hurricane Center basically just stopped doing any updates on it since it became extra or subtropical in this case, and it just went up into the basically where it's not a concern for anybody. The past few days also there was another area here, the vigorous wave that came out of the coast of Africa, but it didn't really make it far because there is a lot of Saharan dust. If I show you this graph here, you can see how much Saharan dust is in the atmosphere. So as you guys remember, and I have mentioned before in many of my videos, the Saharan dust is not good for the tropical development. It is actually very unfavorable conditions. It will suppress development of storms. So this time of the year, there is a lot of Saharan dust, and that's why I'm not really expecting much activity here in this area. I mean, you will get flare-ups and waves, kind of like what we had in the past couple of days. The vigorous waves leave the coast of Africa due to the African monsoon. But once they achieve or they reach this area, not much happens to it. Now, down the season, as we get closer to the peak of the season, definitely you will see more development. But right now, it's just too much, and the conditions are not quite ready for development. So going back, let's see what the National Hurricane Center says. It's giving it a 70% chance of development within the next 48 hours. 90% of development within the next 5 days. This wave here has been very, very slow moving. It has been sitting here for the past few days, and it looks like it is going to continue to do the same thing. It's a very slow moving storm. In the past probably day or two, one of the things I have noticed is that the longer it sits here, the further east some of the forecasting models take it. So that's something we need to keep an eye on, because if it spends more time in the Gulf, let's say it decides to go this way, closer to Florida, then we may have potentially more development. But so far, none of the forecasting models are showing that. So we'll have to see. Let's show you how disorganized is looking right now. And it's interesting because it seems like it keeps getting pushed south. You see how it's losing some of its convection. At the beginning of the frame, you see how much convection it has in this area, and it's slowly just kind of fading. And that's because the majority of the storm is basically over land. The center circulation is probably somewhere in here, and the majority of the thunderstorm activity and the convection is actually south of it, but it's over land. So that's why it really can't develop much unless it starts pulling north, which is basically what it's supposed to do, but who knows? How long is it going to take? Because it has been sitting in this area for days. So that's something we need to, keep an eye out and see if it starts pulling north, and then see where it goes from there. As of the forecasting models, the GFS, let's actually move this a little bit further to the future. So you can see we're talking about 18 hours, and still down there. It's not really moving much. It kind of pulls a little bit here, so the center of circulation, it actually gets shifted eastward or east, which is interesting. And then as you can see, it kind of picks up a little bit steam here, but it's too late. It's just way too close to the coast, so GFS is not really showing much out of it. The European model, let's see what it shows. The European model basically is, let's see, it's showing the same thing. You can kind of see it here, but they're not really developing into much. I mean, look at a little bit of a stronger system here, and again, it's over land already, so not much expected. The Canadian model, let's see what the Canadian model shows. Let's see, Canadian model, basically same thing. So at this point, just about all the main systems are showing that. Now the Navy over the years have definitely been not a reliable source, but it has a completely different scenario. You see how it takes a few days to pull up, it starts pulling up, but then it makes landfall in Texas as a weak storm anyways. I mean, it picks up a little bit of steam, so definitely stronger than the other models are saying, but not much going on. You see 990, 997, 996 at landfall. So most likely like a rainmaker is what is expected. But if you notice, that's 84 hours out. This is very unreliable at this point. I wouldn't trust anything within probably 48 hours. Max 72 hours. I wouldn't really rely on that information. So a high pressure here. That's why probably this Navy model has a pretty well west and not closer to Florida, because you can see this isobars here. And remember, the high pressures, what they do is they push storms away. So by this high pressure here being really strong, that's why it keeps it over here, like further west and not closer to Florida or the some of the other Gulf states. So let's take a look and see what the temperatures are in the Gulf and in the Atlantic. So right now, let's see. Let's take a look at Florida and the Gulf. 80s all the way across the board. I mean, high 80s actually across the board near the coast. So this is definitely plenty of fuel to really support a storm. So there's no doubt that if a storm is in the Gulf, it definitely could develop. You know, again, not just taking in consideration the water temperatures, because there's a lot of different factors that will contribute to development. But this is a huge part. Now let's take a look at the Atlantic and the Caribbean and see what we're looking at here. Let's take a look at this one. So Caribbean temperatures, again, 80s all the way across the board. So in general, the temperatures are not extremely high. As we get to the peak of the season, these will be like high 80s, which are definitely even better for development. But right now, 80s all the way across the board, that's definitely plenty of fuel to really to support development. Now let's take a look also at the sea surface temperature as a whole, and this is the CDAS anomaly chart. And one thing you definitely are probably going to notice, this was updated a few days ago, 2 days ago, and one thing I've noticed for sure is that even though the Pacific has warmed up a little bit, it's cool water is actually showing up again. So this was not here a few days ago. Now you're showing some blue here, which is actually below average, and that was expected. So this is telling me here is that there's definitely El Nino is not showing up. We kind of went into more of a neutral phase, and it seems like it's definitely coming back to La Nina phase again as we get closer to the hurricane season. But this is actually not a good sign, because remember, if this cools down even more, it has an effect on the Atlantic, which means more favorable conditions in the Atlantic. So that's something that it's not good. But again, too early. We're talking about mid-June, so that's something we need to keep an eye on. But so far, it's looking okay. Other than that, this is the only area that we're watching. If anything changes, as always, guys, I will keep you posted. I'll make you another video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Any comments, put them in the comment section below. Any questions. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get the notifications every time I post something. You can share this video with families and friends. Thank you for your time and have a good day.